Howdy folks, Doc here with Last Best Tool, and today I've got a follow-up on my Vamplier tool, or Vampliers, Vampire Tool Screw Extraction Needle Nose Pliers. And this is one of the many pliers that Vamplier sells that have the screw extraction capability. It just means there's this perpendicular cut into the jaws at the tip that allow you to grab onto the edge of a screw. You know, just the edge, whether or not it's got, you know, the ability to still hold a fastener. Anyway, and use the pliers to remove the screw. And that's compared to conventional pliers, which have usually kind of conventional jaws. This is a larger pair. This is their lineman, the Vamplier lineman, and you can see that it's got a substantially different jaw configuration, which means that you have a much greater reach when it comes to grabbing larger screws versus little tiny ones, although these are pretty amazing what they can grab. Anyway, here's a small pair of electronics ones. You can see comparative to the tips here, but the inside's different. This will hold further down than this. And then here's their jaws, which is their screw extraction locking plier. You can see it also has a fairly small cutout, but tremendous holding, tremendous strength when you're using a locking mechanism. But we're focused on these right now. The execution of these is fabulous. It is amazing how nice and silky smooth they are. The finish work is really tremendous. And here's a kind of a rubber band demonstration of the silky smoothness of these. They also have just enough resistance that they don't snap back and forth. Super nice. Let's compare those here to my snap-ons. These are the snap-on needle nose that also have kind of the, if that's a flank drive, or the way this thing grabs, a little bit different. So here's my snap-on as I stretch out the whoops. Anyway, those are nice and stiff. If I crunch them back together, I mean, literally, that's crazy. Hard to use, especially for fine work, but I'm getting that remedied. Although I have been oiling them and trying to put years of service on them by swinging them back and forth, and you can see they're still stiff, even though they're all nice and greasy. But let's go back to these. If you haven't seen the standard demonstration, I've got a flush-mounted screw right here that's all scored up on the edges, and I can just drop this right over the top of it. And I'm using one hand and my left hand at that. And I can slowly spin this thing out. Finish it up here, and then you can see just how messed up that tip is right there. But they're easily able to grab things and get them out, and that's what makes these so amazing. Is it's literally one of those tools that can pay for itself in one job. And that might be in less damage to your workpiece. It might be in time saved. So definitely need something like this in your tool set. However, it also can be a great screw insertion plier. So if I take a screw, grab this guy here, I can hold it in the same way and easily drop it into, if there's a hole, great. But it's a lot easier because if you watch this, when I grab this screw, because of those notches, you see that? It's holding that fairly straight. Whereas if I grab it with another screw, I'll use these snap-ons here, you know, and I'm holding it tight, but it just immediately deflects. So trying to get something into a hole and then having it screwable here is not easy to do. So that's another way. So I came up with way to show you that, look how far into this water bottle I can insert this. It's all the way down to about the 400 mark here, or the 12 in America. And comparative, these obviously don't go very far. These, you know, you have to be able to use them, and I would have to be out about here in order to be able to open them. These do fit all the way in, but if you look at the radius, let's say I'm grabbing a screw, I can even grab this guy here, how far in can they go? You know, that's not very far. These don't fit at all, really, because they don't line up very well. But these, on the other hand, if I grab a screw, I can insert that quite a ways in, which means I could also, here's a roll of toilet paper, I could drop this down into, if there's an existing hole, that's great. You can see how far out that goes. And then I could screw it in, but I can also, this is strong enough, so I'm going to go over here and see if I can get this to work. And I'm going to drop it in and screw the, hopefully the screw into the wood in a brand new spot through a roll of toilet paper. Let's see if this worked. You know, there it is. So then I could get a regular driver onto that and finish the job. And that's through that much space, through a tiny little hole. And then as far as screw extraction goes, you know, they're, you know, obviously going to work the same in a situation like that, because I can grab the screw. And I have I want to show you these. These are really tiny micro screw extractors. You can see this says Moody 4-piece screw extractor reversible set. And this is designed to get out those little teeny weeny screws. A lot of them are countersunk, so they wouldn't be able to be grabbed like this. But I'm wondering, you know, if Vamplier made an even smaller set somehow that would allow you to get out the little microscopic ones on some electronics. I don't know. Screw insertion, you know, my old way of doing it used something like this. This is a Blue Point screw holder. So you can see the little spring-loaded mechanism would allow a screw to be inserted into a situation like that, but you see how easy it pops off. Can be helpful if there's already a good hole or a machine, you know, you're lining it up easily. This is the SSR7 Blue Point screw holder, but boy, once I started using these Vampliers, it's so much easier, you know, to just grab it and start driving it in. And it's way easier than trying to use a conventional set of pliers. So the Vamplier needle nose pliers are just exceptional. I highly recommend them. And they make a great needle nose plier on their own. But the screw extraction technology, that really is a game changer. So with that, Doc out.